Exactly 1 week ago, I started as a complete beginner cold outreaching on Instagram, at least doing it the right way. And these are the exact 4 steps that actually made it possible for me to book my first Zoom call with my customer. We'll actually go in depth into every bit of the conversation so we can see the 4 steps in action. But before that, there's actually one crucial thing that's going to play a big part while you're cold outreaching, and that will be actually getting out of the message requests. This can make or break the whole process. Now let's see how I was able to book my first Zoom meeting. So we're going to be listening to the audios in real time so you have an idea of what I said and how I approached it, and then I'll actually comment on it.
Hello, Bookie. Hope you're doing well. I'm not doing too bad myself. I was actually here binge watching your content, and I wanted to say congratulations. I actually was here, and just by watching the charisma and the energy that you bring to your videos, that's really nice. That's really dope. So, what made me text you is actually that. Firstly, but lastly, I was also trying to access the link on your bio, but didn't have success on that. So I was wondering if you mind sending it to me over here, please, just so if I can go in there.
This was my approach. I actually used her first name, and then I followed it with a compliment. What this does is lower her guard, so she really feels like, oh, he has been binge watching my content, so that's actually cool. And the single most important part is here towards the end, where I ask her for the link for her bio. So it's an open question. It doesn't need to be specifically that. It just has to be something that makes her engage back. So that was step one. That's actually reaching out in a way that gets you out of the message request. There will be a short time where you have to actually get a response to actually advance to the other steps. And luckily, we have it here 2 days after, saying, "Hi, nice to meet you. Which of the links are you trying to access?" So naturally, I slid into step two, which is comment on what happened and answer what she asks, and then slide in with offer to show a Loom video or a recording that you made of a service you're going to do. So let's listen to this one as well.
It's nice to meet you too. Thank you, Miss Bookie. But I actually was able to access it. I was trying to access your main site, and I was able to. Thank you. What I was actually doing was I was doing an audit on your page. So I went ahead and made a small, quick Loom video, just explaining some strategies that I feel like will overall bring you more leads, more importantly, more engagement to your page. Because for the amount of information you're putting out, that's quality information, I feel like you should have more engagement. So let me know if I can send it over here anytime you want.
This is the start of step two. And this can go a whole lot of ways. You can get ignored, you can get a no, you can get a yes. And that's what actually happened. She was actually like, okay, yes, you can. So then I proceeded to step three, which is actually make something to prove that I am actually someone who actually can. Jesus. I'm saying actually like 700 times. I should actually include a counter starting with this phrase because I actually said it twice. Step three was me starting to develop and make a short video explaining what it is actually I'm going to be providing, what I'm capable of doing, what I see that's wrong and needed improvement and all these things. And I organized it into a Google Doc and sent her. So if you want to have access to the Google Doc, I'll be leaving the link to my channel here on the pinned comment, and feel free to have a check on it on the Hustlers Hub. That's my community. So then we got an answer. She said, "Thanks you." please book an appointment through my calendar and let's talk. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, will do. I was able to book it on her website, and I just gave her the heads up like it's working. So this means that now I had actually just set my first Zoom meeting. But what happened next was about to ruin my whole day, because the Zoom meeting was set for the day after the actual interaction on Instagram. I sent her this first message like, "Hello, hope you're doing well. All set for the meeting. I'll be arriving around 1 p.m. See you soon." Mind you that we set the time for 1:15 London time, you know. I got there, this was around 10, and I always like to send a message before, just so everything comes out as planned and we don't have special emergencies and stuff like that. But I texted and I didn't get feedback until the actual time. That's when the time came, and it was 1:15. I was on since 1 on the dot, you know, and I waited. 15 minutes felt like eternity. I didn't get an answer. She wasn't coming in, and I was starting to lose hope. I decided to text her like 15 minutes later, because I was already on the call. It was around 3:30 this time, and to my surprise, after like 15 minutes or so, she said, "Are you still on?" And I freaking was. And this is how it played out. So no worries, I understand. "And are you still on?" "Yes, I am." And she said, "I'm coming on now." So then we talked. Long story short, but if you do want to hear the long story though, hit me up on the DMs or let me know, and I'll be more than happy to tell you how it all went. But what we agreed on was, we landed on a certain term, which I will start with a trial for her, and then we can decide if we go on ahead or if we split our ways and go our separate paths. So this is actually step 4, not being afraid to work for free. So this came on, and we agreed that I'll be blurring all of this just for safety reasons. What happened was, she actually agreed that she needed visibility and she wanted to actually stand out on the market, something that I'm going to provide her with for sure. But since there's no sense of credibility of my part, I can't complain. That's the only way we can actually go forward. And I guarantee that if you have actually the sauce, you won't even need the initial payment. You just prove that you're actually a valuable asset and not a liability, and I guarantee the money will come your way. So that would be number 4, actually being able to provide value and close the deal. And that's where I'm at now. I'm still pending on number 4, because after that I sent over the already edited versions, and with the audio explaining also what I did. And this one isn't as important as the first ones, because here we're already deep into a conversation, so I can basically say anything and it will stick, because she already knows I'm a human being, you know. And that's what we want the most, them knowing that they're a human as you, so you guys can have at least one thing in common, you know. So then I didn't get a reply for some time. I got back to her literally yesterday, and this was the response. It was like, "Hello, I hope you're doing well. I was wondering if you had a chance to check the documents out. I'll be glad to hear from you soon." That's what I said. So this is what she answered. "I've looked at it. I'm in the middle of onboarding. Please help me with this actual part right here. Like, what does she mean by this? Literally, like, what does she mean? I do not know. I do not understand." So try and comment what you think she means, because that will help me a lot. And I really feel like continuing with this will boil down with actually just getting out of the message request folder.